These are the Billy Bob Graphite shaft extensions. Over 3 million of these have been sold and they are an industry standard. The graphite shaft extensions are patented and have the gluing rings and patented ribs on the inside. Most graphite shaft extensions tend to break at the edge, but the Billy Bob shaft extensions do not break due to their patented engineering and their military spec plastic. There are two types. One is oversized and one is regular. The regular fits most of the shafts, including the older style shafts or shafts that have a normal wall. If you have to sand them to fit, just sand the tip and this area here. The patented gluing rings allow a lot of glue space while keeping the epoxy within the gluing area. This is an oversized extension that is used for the thin-walled or ultralight graphite shafts that are out on the market today. This particular shaft is a Pro Force XL, and it's a lightweight shaft. The lighter weight shaft has thinner walls. As you can see, there is a difference between the wall thickness. Regular, oversized. The oversized doesn't quite fit as it's a little tight. We'll have to remove some material from here and here. The extension is made with a military spec plastic, which is easy to sand. Using the belt sander, turn it a couple of times. Check the clearances and if necessary, sand off a little more. Once it goes in, this raised collar needs to be sanded. Give it a couple of quick turns, and as you can see, it will fit in there good. This will seal the gluing surface between these 2 points, which will give you good adhesion. Another way to make the shaft extensions fit is by using a drill press. If you have a drill press with an 1.5 inch chuck, you can open it up and put the extension in it to hold it. Then grab a rough file, turn on the drill press, and apply the file against the edge until you've taken off enough plastic. Then take it out and make sure to check the clearances. Once again, we have our 2 shaft extensions. First, take a wire brush and by holding onto the shaft, abrade the inside of the shaft. We need just a little bit of abrasion to score the inside, because inside the shaft, the graphite is very smooth. It needs to be scored so the epoxy will adhere. You can also use a sanding wheel or Dremel to abrade the inside. Now, mix the epoxy. First, we're going to assemble the oversized. Coat the middle of the extension with epoxy. Once it's inserted in the shaft, it will fill up. You don't need to do the tip because it acts as a plunger to keep the epoxy from going down the throat. Insert the extension into the shaft. Move it back and forth and then push it in. Next, clean off the excess epoxy. If you think there is a lot of epoxy drip, you can turn it upside down during the drying process to keep it from seeping down the shaft. Follow the same steps for the regular size extension. Coat the extension with enough epoxy so it fills up. If you want, you can put a little on the sides, but it will fill up the inside. Then push the extension into the shaft. The vertical ribs on the extension, as seen here, allows the epoxy to go through and fill around. This makes it very strong. Now, clean off any excess epoxy and once again, you can turn it upside down during the drying process to avoid epoxy dripping down the shaft. Here we have the Billy Bob steel shaft extensions for metal shafts. We have it for a 580, a 600, and a 620. They can handle all the steel shafts that are produced now. The 620 is the lightweight steel. The 600 is for most all of the regular shafts out there. The 580 is for the lady shaft or the junior shafts. The Billy Bob's extension and the True Temper extension are the same length and crimped on both ends. The Billy Bob extension tips go in further than the True Temper extensions. The True Temper extensions go in about 1.25 to 1.5 inches, and the Billy Bob's extensions go in a full 70 millimeters or 2.5 inches. This allows for better adhesion, back weighting, and less swing weight. Now we're going to remove a grip so we can add an extension. We're going to use a hook blade and lay it against the edge of the grip. Slide it down the length of the grip. Then grab the corners and pull it back and slide it off. Then heat up the tape using a heat gun and the specialty sleeve from Golfsmith. It will heat the entire area covered in tape. Using the hook blade, scrape off a little area and then you can pull the tape off easily. Then clean off the shaft. We're now going to insert a shaft extension. First, we need to abrade the inside of the shaft and clean it up with a wire brush. You can also use a cone sander attached to a drill. Next, we need to abrade the extension using the belt sander. Turn it against the belt to abrade it. Then, apply epoxy to the extension and some epoxy to the inside of the shaft. Push the extension in and out to ensure there is a good coating of epoxy. Then, push it in and clean off the tip. This is the standard sand wedge. The grip has been removed and we're going to extend it 1 inch. Let's take a look at the difference of swing weight between a regular extension and the Billy Bob extension. Put the sand wedge on a swing weight, and as you can see, once the grip is put on, you'll be about a D6. Right now, it's about an E6. Adding the grip will add about 9 swing weight points, and this is the swing weight without an extension. Adding the True Temper extension, which extends the club 1 inch, adds about 6 or 7 swing weight points to the club. With the Billy Bob extension, only 2 swing weight points are added. Not only will you get better adhesion with gluing in the Billy Bob extension, you only have to deal with 2 swing weight points, which makes it easier to customize. The Billy Bob extension is superior compared to regular extensions. Now we're going to put a grip on. To apply the tape, lay it on the shaft, bring it around, and push the extra on the tip in. We're going to be using odorless mineral spirits, which can be purchased at Home Depot or Lowe's. Squirt a little of the odorless mineral spirits into the grip, covering the bottom hole with your finger. Move it back and forth to get a good coating on the inside. Then add a little on the tape. Slide the grip over the tip and slide it forward. It slides on easily, dries really good, and makes for a nice grip installation.